What have you done? We have to find Timmy. Now stop this.
I held him the day he came into this world, and I'm gonna hold him the day he goes out.
Believe me when I say, sometimes dead is better.
Hi, Lindsey.
Hi.
It is so great to meet you. Congratulations on Pet Sematary Bloodlines. I mean, I went back to Comic-Con in San Diego when Paramount Plus was doing all kinds of cool things there with this. So I've been waiting a long time for this.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say. Yeah, they did a great job promoting.
They did. It was creepy. It was great. Well, this is a prequel to Stephen King's Pet Sematary, but it didn't start that way until you came aboard, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I think it did start as it started as extrapolating a chapter from the book, but more as a prequel to the 2019 film. And then when I came aboard, I shifted more as a prequel just directly to the book and no one movie adaptation.
And Pet Sematary was the first Stephen King book that you had read too when you were a child. So
Yeah.
you've come full circle, right?
I've come full circle. Kid me is giving me a high five, and it feels like a very long time coming for sure.
And what bridge did you build in the story that connects the prequel to the Stephen King book?
Yeah, so a lot of stuff, and I mean, I reread the book so many times while making this movie, but there's a chapter in the book that deals with this kid, Timmy Baterman, who went to war and came back, and his father, Bill, resurrected him. And the book says that Judd, as a young man, his encounter with Timmy is actually why the evil is targeting him for the rest of his life. And it also says at the end of the book that Judd is the guardian of the woods, which to me suggested this kind of mantle of guardianship that we've never really heard about in any of the other movies or adaptations. And so I was really kind of taking those two major pillars, those 2 points, and trying to connect them, along with a lot of other specifics from the mythology and the descriptions of the evil that King had put in the book, but that we hadn't seen in the films.
And such a great cast in this movie. David Duchovny, Henry Thomas. I mean, were you pinching yourselves when you got them on board?
Oh yeah. I mean, you never imagine that the first people that you go to say yes, and they're all such legends in their own right, and brought just so much wonderful qualities to their characters. So yeah, for sure.
And Pam Grier, I mean, talk about a legend.
Oh my God. Yeah, she's amazing. She was actually on the set of the first Pet Sematary visiting Mary Lambert, the director. So for her, it felt like a whole kind of cycle too.
So this is your directorial debut. What was the most challenging about directing your first feature film?
The most challenging for this particular film was the schedule, because we had the same schedule as the 2019 movie, which has a lot fewer characters and a lot fewer locations and action pieces. So every day was just really aggressive. But I always say I have to really thank the cast and crew for just bringing their A game every day so we could get it done.
And as a first-time director, what was the first shot on the first day and the last shot on the last day of the shoot?
Yeah, well, we began and ended the shoot with very harrowing sequences. The very beginning, we shot the hospital sequence that first week. So that was like, welcome to directing. And then the very last thing that we filmed was I don't want to give any spoilers, but somebody being buried alive.
That's cool. That's so cool. Well,
Yeah.
I went to film school at UNLV,
Uh-huh.
and I had dreams of becoming a director and a screenwriter and all that, but I fell into criticism and television. And I always wondered, is that something you always wanted to do, become a writer director?
It is. I was one of those kids that was always making movies and writing funny little things. And I always wanted to be, well, when I was younger, I wanted to be a novelist and a director because I didn't know screenwriting existed. And I would make these films, but I would just like tell people what to do and where to stand and what to say. I didn't have a script. And then it wasn't until I was a little older and understood the actual filmmaking process and knew that screenwriting was a thing too, that I wanted to be a writer director.
Do you remember that moment when you wanted to become a writer and director? For me, it was when I saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And for the first time, because when you're a kid, you think all that stuff's real, right? But
Yeah.
for the first time, I'm like, what's a director or what's a producer? All those names all of a sudden hit me when I was 11 years old.
I don't remember the exact moment I wanted to become a director. I was somebody who watched a ton of film growing up, and my parents really loved film. So it was just something that I think I was surrounded by, and because they really loved independent film, the notion of kind of the auteur director was something that was kind of omnipresent in my brain and my household, and I had a lot of respect for filmmaking and filmmakers. So I think it just was infused in my brain from a young age.
Well, having a last name is Beer, that's a screenplay right there, right?
Yeah, it
Was
is.
it a curse having that last name growing up? I mean, the jokes and the comments, they never stop, do they?
You would think that it would be, but it really wasn't. I don't
Oh,
know.
really? Okay.
Yeah, not at all. Um, yeah, I guess I grew up in Utah, and they're maybe they're kinder souls.
Well, it's so, every time I've interviewed directors or actors or anyone associated with a Stephen King film, I always ask them, well, what's it like meeting him and what did he think? And a lot of the times it's like, we never met Stephen King. We never spoke to him. How about
Right.
on this project? Did you meet Stephen King or speak to
I
him?
I never met Stephen King. Lorenzo de Bonaventura, one of the producers on the film, is the person who has the strong relationship with him and is the one who's always in direct contact with him. And so anytime we're at key junctures of the film, like, okay, we have a shooting script that we want him to read and make sure he likes before we actually shoot anything, that kind of stuff, then we'd send it and he and Lorenzo would talk about it. But we got the thumbs up through him, and I got to hear secondhand, but not directly.
He's always very vocal on Twitter,
Yeah.
so
Oh, yes,
he
exactly.
doesn't, his opinions are about everything.
Oh,
So
for sure. So it meant a lot when he gave it his approval, for
that's
sure.
so great. Oh my gosh, you must be on cloud nine. That's so awesome.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
what about update on Sleepy Hollow? Is that a project you're still hoping to do?
Yeah, that hopefully will be my next project. The writer's strike just ended, so I get to go back to it, and I'm really excited about that one.
Lindsay, I'm so happy for you. I saw some of your credits. You're like a who's who with some projects. I can't believe some of the things you've been associated with. Now you're behind the camera, so
Yeah,
congratulations. And let's talk again soon. This has been a great thrill.
absolutely. Thank you for taking the time, and thanks for the nice words.